So let's get started and meet a woman who's literally made an entire career now out of teaching women how to be comfortable with grilling. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Robyn. Hey, Robyn.
Good morning,
So, Robyn, introduce yourself. Tell everybody about Grill Girl. How did you get started, and why are you not afraid of the grill?
Okay, these are all great points. So, you guys see me. I am a total pipsqueak. I'm all of 5'1". So, if I can do the grill, anybody can do the grill. And I will say, ladies, if the guys can grill, then clearly we know it's not that hard. Am I right?
Well, there's fire involved. I think that's the part that freaks me out.
Totally. And that's what really freaks most women out. And so my background is, let's just say, I've always loved to cook. I've always loved to write. I have a journalism degree, and I'm a Southern girl. We love our food in the South. Like, it's just near and dear to our heart, like all the things, right? And so when I moved to Miami like 15 years ago and started dating my now husband, I was really in a cooking mode because I was happy to have someone to cook for. And one weekend he went out of town and I wanted to use his grill. And I pretty much like singed my eyebrows off in that experience because he had an old crappy grill and this is common, where you have like an old gas grill and the starter doesn't work and you get the flame ball effect. And so then I was like, you know what? That was dumb. I am not going to let that happen again. I bought him a new grill, and out of practicality, I just spent like $800 on this grill. So I wanted to get my money's worth. So I started using it all the time. And then I really fell in love with grilling. And I was like, all right, why are more women not grilling?
Yes.
And because it's really just such a missed opportunity. And what happens is the guys get to go out and cook on the grill and have fun and drink beer or whatever. And then the women are stuck inside prepping everything for them.
Yeah.
And then they can go be gone all afternoon manning the grill. So anyway, I really kind of took it upon myself. I started grillgirl.com, which is all grilling focused recipes. I do have a healthy slant to them. That's my other kind of passion. And then I started hosting these women's grilling clinics to really help women get over the fear of grilling. Because honestly, the main reason women are not grilling is because it's the intimidation factor of how to start a grill. And so today I'm going to show you really easy how to start a grill. And we're going to demystify that. And you don't need a husband or a boyfriend or a dad to start the grill for you. You can totally do it yourself. And now you can be the backyard hostess with the mostess and grill all the things.
All right. So I'm going to switch to outside now, everybody. So we're on the road. We're going to come back here when we get to the ingredients. But I figured we should start with the grill prep. And Robyn's going to show us how to do this. I know. So. All right.
Okay.
So I cleaned this out. Does that look good?
That's great. It looks like you have a Weber kettle, if I had to guess.
It says a Masterbuilt Pro. I thought it was a Weber.
Okay, so you've got like a kettle style grill.
Sure.
And it's got like probably holes on the bottom.
Yes.
Okay. And so for everybody out there, I think charcoal grilling is probably one of the more intimidating styles of grilling, just because. And I'll say I've done surveys of women because I'm going to launch an e-learning course on grilling for women, so that even if they're not with me in Florida, they can learn wherever. But what I found is that most women are really intimidated by charcoal, especially because it's kind of messy and it's not as predictable like gas, where you can just kind of control the knobs and but I will say, like, you're never going to get the same flavor in any other kind of grill that you will in charcoal. And it's also less stuff to break. I can't tell you how many times I've been in my backyard. Like, I was actually smoking an alligator, believe it or not, on my pellet smoker, and the power went out. And then I'm like, great, now I have a 5-foot alligator on this grill and I have no power. What am I going to do? So
I'm gonna need to stop you there. What with an alligator? You put an alligator here?
I put it on my pellet smoker, which has more grill surface area.
An
Um,
alligator.
yeah, yes, I know it's like a crazy Florida thing to do. I think smoked alligator on the internet, it should be me because I've lived in Florida for since 2007, and I've checked all those boxes, right? And at the time, I lived on this river that had alligators that we were on their like feeding path or whatever. And so this is actually a funny story. You'll appreciate this. So
This whole story is funny.
it's crazy. It's like hashtag Florida problems, right? So
Yeah.
at the time when we first moved to Fort Myers from like the Miami area, we were building a house. So I'm out here in the country now, but when we were renting a house, we lived on the river. And if you look at a map, it's the Caloosahatchee River, and it flows into the ocean near where Sanibel is. And we're the ones that just got hit by that big hurricane last year. But anyway, so the river has alligators in it, and I had this old Chihuahua with cataracts, and I was worried that that she was going to fall in the river and get eaten by an alligator. And so one night I was smoking a tri-tip, and this gator literally was like right next to the seawall, and I just felt like he was about to just like the point is I didn't feel like he was afraid of humans anymore, and that's when they become like quote unquote nuisance alligators. So we in Florida have a nuisance alligator hotline that you can call. It sounds crazy, and then they'll come out, and that's like basically like these gators aren't afraid of humans anymore, and it's time for them to go live on the alligator farm, and that's literally where they take them. And so I called this guy, or I called the gator hotline, and this nuisance gator hunter or nuisance gator catcher, I should say, comes out.
Yeah.
And he plays a CD that makes like this gator sound that's supposed to like lure them in. And it's just crazy. This is like,
what does the gator sound like?
It's like it's really like, it's bizarre, but
I am going to do it every morning.
I know. My husband's actually hunted a gator because you have to have tags and all the, like you can't just go out and shoot a gator because they're federally protected, even though like nobody wants a gator in their backyard when you have dogs. Like I have 3 dogs. So, and that's how I met the gator guy, was because I was like, I don't want these gators to eat my Chihuahua. So anyway, he never got that gator to come in, but then I met him, and he was also a preacher too, funny enough. Like, so they called him Gator Preacher.
Or the catcher. Okay.
Okay. And anyway, I do appreciate a crazy Florida story. But I found out he worked for this gator.
Right.
He works for Fish and Wildlife, but he also works for the gator farm. So when I decided to smoke a gator, because I figured I want to own the internet for smoked gator, because I'm a Floridian. All these non-Floridians are doing it. I should do it too. But I got my gator from him. But so when my power went out on my pellet smoker, and I had that 5-foot gator on my smoker, and I'm like, now what do I do? Now my whole cook is messed up, and this is super inconvenient. But anyway, he goes, so this is the end of the story. He goes, you're in luck. So I call him. I'm like, I need another gator. He's like, you're in luck. I have a fresh one for you. I just got it from this lady's yard today. He was living under her drainage ditch and under her driveway. And every time the mailman came to deliver the mail, the gator would come out and scare the bejesus out of the mailman. And so if you go on the internet and look, just go like smoked alligator, you'll see my recipe pop up. And that's the story behind that specific gator.
That was the most Florida story I've ever heard in my entire life.
Right.
What did you say was a tri-tip? What was that? What kind of monster was that?
So a tri-tip is actually a cut of meat that's super delicious, and it's actually pretty affordable, that I recommend everyone try. It's not popular on the East Coast. It's popular on the West Coast. So on the West Coast, it's like everybody knows, it's like, oh, tri-tip. Oh yeah, it's a thing. But on the East Coast, you have to specifically ask for it in a lot of places. I've seen it at Trader Joe's. You have to ask your butcher, but it's kind of like, it's the triangle cut. That's why it's called the tri-tip, and it's in like the sirloin area. But it's kind of like a cross between a roast and a steak, and it cooks quickly. So, a lot of people will say to me, Robyn, I want to learn how to make a brisket. And they're like, like a newbie griller, and I'll be like, okay, well, how much time do you have? Like, do you want to sleep tonight? You know? So I'll say, why don't you start off with like a tri-tip instead, and you can have kind of the same experience.
Okay, and just to clarify, Missy did make an observation. So you're saying that yes, you can smoke gator, but I'm going to also say that you shouldn't use a Chihuahua as bait.
Correct.
Correct. So not as
bait for it. So
okay. All right. Well, listen, we just got the most Florida story ever. So that was exciting.
I know, that's a Florida story for you. So
it's a Florida story.
So let's show you how to start the grill. You guys, starting the grill doesn't have to be difficult, you know, and I will say, don't use lighter fluid. A lot of people want to do that. You don't want all those chemicals in your food. That's gross. So just don't do it. And there's lots of ways you can start the grill. Excuse my dogs. They love to swim in the pool. They're living their best lives.
Oh, my dogs will be so jealous that yours have a pool.
I know. They have the life out here.
So I have a bag of charcoal, and you want me to pour how much of it into here?
So we got our charcoal. We're going to pour it in, and I'd say let's pour, and I can look at yours, but don't pour, you don't need a ton because we're not grilling a bunch today. But let's just say, like maybe that thick on your grill. I'd say enough so that when you pour it in, the whole bottom can be covered and have like a full layer of charcoal.
And do I leave this grate here? The grate stays.
So the bottom grate should stay, and that's what keeps the charcoal in. And then what happens is that stays there, and then the ash dumps to the bottom.
Okay.
And so you probably have some kind of way to catch the ash on the bottom of your charcoal grill.
I do. I broke it right before we started, but it's there still.
Of course.
Like, let me show you what I have. Is this right? Hold on.
And your dog is so cute. I think you can add just a little bit more.
Okay.
Just like a cup's worth.
My dogs are so confused. They're like, why are you even out here? All right.
All right, that's it. Now, what you can do is you're going to get a little bit dirty. I should have told you to get gloves, but like make like a little bit of a mound. And that way it's going to touch each other so that when you light like a specific part of the fire,
okay,
it's going to be touching. You guys are having some weather up there in New Jersey.
I know. It's usually a bit breezy. All right.
Perfect.
I have a mound.
All right. Now, I'll tell you, there's lots of ways you can start a charcoal grill. Starter, people have probably seen those. They look kind of evolved from the coffee can with holes poked in it. You can use what are called paraffin cubes, or they're called tumbleweeds. And sometimes you'll see those like when you go to the grilling section and they'll have like starters. But honestly, like this is really like I've tried all the ways to start a grill. This is the JJ George fire starter. I had you get one because I think it's going to just make it so easy. Okay, so this is the top part. When you order this on Amazon, it's going to come like this. It's going to come like this. You're going to get this in the mail. And then you buy one of these canisters at Walmart or a camping store, or if you have a pretty good grocery store, they may carry it. It's always going to be, or like it's usually in like the camping or grilling section.
So I just take this off?
You take that little plastic thing off.
And it's not going to catch on fire?
Nope. You just put the plastic thing in the trash or in your pocket for now. That says propane on it, right?
Let's hope so. It says benzomatic.
Okay, that should work.
There it is, propane.
Okay, just want to make sure because I think there are. Just make sure when you buy this, guys, it says propane.
Yeah.
Like we want it to run on propane. There are other things that can come in canisters, so that's what we want is propane. You got it. I mean, honestly, I think you'd have to try hard not to find propane, but you never know.
Yeah, let's not use the word should work. What we're doing does work.
Okay.
It's fire, Robyn. And I'm
Yeah,
already.
we don't want to light anybody up, but yeah, propane is what we want. Okay, perfect. Is it on tight?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now you're gonna turn the screw, and you're gonna hear the gas come out.
What am I gonna do?
You turn the screw to the left.
This?
Yep, turn the screw on the top, and that's gonna turn the gas on. So lefty loosey, righty tighty is what I always remind myself of. You hear the gas? Okay, so this button right here is what's gonna ignite it, and you're gonna point it towards your charcoal.
I thought you said towards my hole. Is this supposed to be on already or no?
Take your grates off and set them to the side for now.
Okay. Let me move this other bag of highly ignitable charcoal over here. Okay, I'm ready. Now what?
Okay, all right, press the button. I've got mine going too.
Okay, now what?
Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, is the gas on? Press the button again. I should see some flame. I don't know if oh, it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Okay, is it lit? I can't tell from like.
Yeah, it's lit.
Okay, perfect. So point that on your coals, and this is how you start your coals. So stand here for like a minute, and then you're gonna have enough flame that when we come back after prepping, your charcoal should be pretty good.
How do you know? Like it's like red, like embers, but it just looks like it's smoking. Jacqueline, come help your mother.
Is it? I can't see, but is it actually lit?
Now it's lit. Yeah. See, like I have fire. Is that right?
It looks right. Hold on, you just popped off my screen for some reason. It's very weird.
Jacqueline, your mother is making fire.
Okay, well I see smoke, so that's good.
Do I just keep it in the same spot? Here.
Yeah, and you can get okay. Now I see. It was hard for me to tell before. You can even have your son hold it while we go prep if you want. Or I mean, honestly, if you do that for a couple minutes, it's gonna get lit enough for us to then go and prep. So that's what I do when I start the grill. Like I get it going for a couple minutes. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I might even prop it up on the side of like one of my grills and let it keep lighting. And then I'll go inside and do what I need to do, like prep my food or whatever. But yeah, awesome. So you guys, this is why I love this tool because it makes it so easy to start your charcoal and perfect.
It burned out though.
Oh, when you've got a lot of wind, I think so. It might be blowing it out. You can just turn it back on. There we go. And that is the thing, you know, when it's windy, it's going to blow. If you're just trying to start a fire, it's kind of like if you guys ever watch Survivor and they're in their fire making session, you know, and it makes it a little more challenging to start a fire. But yeah, you've totally got flames. And you know, once you get a few of those pieces lit, you're going to stay on fire and then light the rest of the charcoal around it. And that's what we want. And the beauty of this tool is that what's really cool about it is that I use this for all kinds of things, but this is a company called JJ George. They make grilling accessories. They make grill tables. I have one of them. They make really good products. But believe it or not, there's another version of this that's great for killing weeds, which we use all the time. So it's an organic way to kill weeds without having to spray like, you know, Roundup or glyphosate in your yard. So your pets don't touch it, you know, on their paws and stuff, which is bad because it causes cancer. So anyway, I'm a fan. But yeah, you got it, girl. You have officially lit your first grill. That's exciting.
But it doesn't look like it's staying lit. How do you get it to stay lit?
Well, it should. So is yours not staying lit?
No, it looks like it's just smoking. Let me try. I want to use the flame.
When did we get a flamethrower?
We just got it.
And is it on full? Is it on full blast? Like, do you have it? Like,
No.
okay, that's what you need to do, I think.
Gotta get the sticks underneath.
Okay, well, now that you have a helper, thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, helper.
Keep it going. Hi. And if you can, just for a couple more minutes, and then like in one spot, because it's really going to get that one spot really hot, and then it's going to catch on to the rest of the charcoal, and that's how we get it going. So you did it. See, super not hard. Like, you did great, Dena. Woo! Everybody give Dena a round of applause.
All right, you
Comment
stay there.
below. I guess that's the modern form of applause.
Thank you. It's too windy to stay lit, you think? I don't know. We'll leave her out there. That'll keep her busy. She was sleeping too long anyway. All right.
Okay,
So
so
now we're going to prep the food, right?
we're gonna prep some food. I'm gonna keep mine going just a little bit because mine, I was looking at yours to make sure, and I couldn't hear you over my flame. So today, I'm gonna show you guys something very easy to make. Grilled cheese on a stick. So easy, so good, and it's crazy, Dena, because everyone thinks you're like a genius when you make this recipe. And it's literally, it's cheese on a stick, but it's delicious. We have queso de fryer. That's my gringo way of saying it. Once I did this recipe for like a cooking demo on daytime TV in Tampa, but the host is originally from Miami, and she didn't even understand what I was saying because I didn't say it with the right accent. So this is like, oh, you mean queso de fryer? I'm like, oh yeah, queso de fryer. So anyway, the story behind this is, you guys have probably seen like or heard of halloumi. Like, sometimes you'll go to Trader Joe's and halloumi is like your traditional grilling cheese, but it's only available seasonally. It's very expensive. Halloumi is very much like, you know how champagne can only come from the Champagne region of France.
Right.
Halloumi can only come from like Crete. And so anyway, I was trying to look for a different version, a less expensive version. I'm going to turn this off. I think we're good. I was looking for a less expensive version that could be thrown on the grill. And I was working on a recipe for Walmart, and lo and behold, I discovered frying cheese, and it holds up really well on the grill. And the beauty of this is that you can find this at any Walmart or like Latin grocery store. I find this at BJ's, which is like a crappier version of Costco. Sorry, BJ's, but it's true. So all we want to do is, you've got this block of cheese, and we're going to cut it into, like, let's just say, when you look at it, it's about an inch thick here, like right where it is.
Yeah.
And so I cut it so you've got an inch that way, and then I cut it about like maybe a little less than half an inch thick. Enough so that you can put the skewer on.
So like in just strips.
In strips, yep. And we're basically, then we're going to throw these on the grill. And the beauty of this cheese is it's like naturally very salty, so it doesn't really need anything. Honestly, people lose their mind when they try this, and it's so easy because you don't really have to do much to this. Like, if you look on my website, I have this paired with a charred tomato, arugula salad with a basil, olive oil, like dressing. But honestly, just the cheese on the stick itself is delicious. And it's great because I've never met anyone who doesn't like cheese, honestly. Right? So even the vegetarians in your life, God bless them, might still eat cheese. Now, there are lactose intolerant people, and I'm lactose intolerant myself, and it really sucks, but you just deal with it. You know, if this one's worth it.
With your pants.
Right.
It's so good.
It's worth it. So this is just a fun recipe. So you'll end up with strips like this. So when you tell people you're going to have grilled cheese on a stick, they'll be like, well, what is she talking about? But literally, that's what it is. And so in queso de fryer, I think the Dominican Republic and things like that, they use this and they fry it in a frying pan, but we're grilling it. So, okay, yep. So you got your stickers. I've got a bunch of dog vultures down here trying to get all my stuff. Get out of here.
I have two friends that don't like cheese. I don't talk to them very often.
Then definitely this is not the recipe for them, but
So I'm just going to put this middle at the bottom.
Yep. Put it so, so it's not, just try to keep it straight so it doesn't poke out the side. It's almost like a cheese lollipop. Oops.
Cheese lollipop.
I mean, there's lots of dirty jokes we could be making or silly jokes we can make right now.
But
and I like to do, I mean, you can do it how you like, but I like to make it look like this. And then I leave these and I use this so I can pull it off the grill with the skewer.
Okay.
You can also use, if you have them, you can use the shorter skewers. Like I have these two, and I kind of like these. They have like little handles on them. Now, one thing I forgot to tell us to do, because I totally spaced on this, is it's good to soak your skewers beforehand, but it is what it is. Just
why would we soak them?
You would soak them for 20 minutes beforehand, put them in water, and then that way they're just less likely to burn on the grill. But it'll be okay. It'll be fine, Dena. I promise. I've done this a lot.
Right, I believe you. You know more than I do, so I will believe everything you say.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
And that's a good point. As I think, like when women especially go to grill, they're so afraid of like messing up or
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the idea is like we've all burned dinner before, right? The worst thing that can happen is you order takeout or you throw in a frozen pizza and life goes on. And then it's a learning experience. So I would just say like to everyone,
like frying and fault.
Yeah, don't be so afraid to try something, that you don't even just do it. Like you're so, afraid of screwing up, because I think that's part of the process. I mean, like I said, the worst thing that can happen is you have takeout for dinner or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you'll live and you feed it to the dogs.
Hmm. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Lynn. She's 61 today. All right, I think I'm ready.
Okay, you're faster than me. I was too busy talking, so. And this is about, if you find this at Walmart or wherever, it's about $5.99 a pack. It's a fun appetizer. So like this one I cut too skinny and it's kind of falling through the skewer, but you can, I'll make it work. So there you go. So you've got so you can do it on both types of skewers. I've got the short ones, I've got the long ones, just depending on what you have at home.
I am concentrating. All right, here we go. So
now once you've done this, you need to check to see how your grill is started. It usually takes about, I'd say 15 minutes to get your coals ready to go.
All right, let's see. She's still out here playing with fire. How's it going?
I don't even know. Is there a stick or something I can like throw in there in the kitchen?
A stick?
Yeah.
Robyn didn't say anything about a stick. So this is what it looks like.
I got a little
The bottom on the one side. I think you're lit. But you keep doing that. We're almost ready. You're not going to believe the cheese.
Okay, yours looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. There's no like big flame.
Okay.
That's what you're looking for, but is that not
give it a few more minutes. And while we do that, let's just talk a little bit. If you can hear me, I'm getting mine ready too because I turned mine off because I couldn't hear. I didn't want you guys to not be able to hear me. So when you're using a charcoal grill, like let's just talk about some basics really quick. So unlike a gas grill where gas is your fuel, and in a charcoal grill, you have charcoal, but really what fuels the flame is air. So once you get your coals going and they're hot and you get the flame, the way you actually control the grill is through the vents. So on the bottom of your grill, and for this recipe, it's so quick and easy. You're not really going to have to do any like much fire management. But when you think about charcoal, the way you actually control the fire is how much air you allow to get to the charcoal. And that's done with the vent on the top. Like every charcoal grill should have some kind of vent at the top.
Yeah, I saw that when I moved the top.
Yeah, and you can open and close that, and that's going to really just kind of think of that as like your knob, you know, like if it was a gas grill. And then you've also got the ones on the bottom. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Whoops. Sorry, I was trying to do this while we were talking.
That's okay.
And that's really how you can control your heat on a charcoal grill. So it is a little bit more of trial and error, I'd say, like getting the feel for it. But the more you use it, the more you get to know it. And I think that's part of the process. Like when you're on a charcoal grill, there's something that happens that's very magical. Like it's kind of a sensory experience, right? And I highly encourage you, and who's not having a cocktail, I'll say, when they're outside starting their grill. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's 9 a.m. for us, so it's a little different. Not that I haven't cracked open something, but
all right. So it says I would cut it in 1/2-inch squares, thread the tomatoes on the skewer, or use a grill pan. Am I supposed to have put those on here too?
I didn't make us do that whole recipe. I was just focusing on the cheese, just keeping it it simple for everybody. But if you guys want to do the whole recipe, what I do is I char tomatoes and throw it on to go with the cheese, and throw it on an arugula salad with like a basil infused olive oil. Oh, you did get all of the ingredients. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, that's perfect. So while my charcoal gets started, so then you can put those on skewers. And this is another thing too, you guys. This is a tip. Like, I think that what's beautiful about a charcoal grill specifically, and all grills, you can get some aspect of this, is adding smoke flavor. Like it's kind of like an umami, like it's like that hidden ingredient that doesn't add calories, but adds a lot of flavor to any dish. Like I love to do smoked cocktails and smoke all the things, right? So even by taking something like tomatoes and throwing them on the grill, you can do things like a fire roasted salsa, a fire roasted gazpacho, which I have recipes for both of those on my website. But it just it gives you really the ability to just add something that's different and really kind of amplifies the flavor. So, and if you don't have a grill pan, like a grill vegetable pan to throw in the grill, you can always put smaller ingredients like tomatoes on skewers and throw them on the grill. And that's what I like to do. So there you go. And so sometimes what I even do is I'll take I actually did a fire roasted bouillabaisse the other day, and I took all the veggies that would go in a bouillabaisse and just added some smoke and char, and then put those into the stew just to add that flavor first. But even things like garlic cloves, I'll throw them on a skewer and just throw them on the grill. That's just me. But you do you. You can also use a vegetable pan. It's really whatever you have, but it's like have on hand. So, not everyone has a gazillion different grill accessories that they keep.
So, all right. So can you show me your grill, your coals?
Yes. And I didn't heat mine as long as yours because I was talking and it was loud and I didn't know if you guys could hear me. So there we go. Can you guys see?
So there's no big flame that's going to happen.
It will happen eventually.
Whoops. Eventually. All right. Now I'm going to make one more skewer with tomatoes. And then are we just going to head out with the cheese and the tomatoes and see what happens?
And so that's what you, just for the audience to know, especially because charcoal does take time versus a gas, which is instant, a pellet will be instant, a flat top will be instant. And that's the thing. There's so many grills on the market now, different styles. When I first started, you just had gas and charcoal. Now you've got gas, charcoal, pellet, flat top. And that's coming out with an article probably next week. I did this in my magazine a couple years ago. It's what's the best grill for you? It's kind of like a grill finder chart.
Yeah. So I didn't really get to choose. This is what I got in the divorce. So
it's I think it's great.
So based on what you're saying, I feel like is a charcoal grill really more of because it's kind of slow and it has a certain flavor, is it more what people would say would be classic grilling? This is for somebody that really loves the taste of charcoal. Is that
yes?
I think we're good.
Smoke flavor is what you're going to get with charcoal. You're not going to get that same flavor on anything else. So, and the tool I told you is actually still, in my opinion, the fastest way to get it started. So,
Okay.
I mean, a good 15 minutes is what you need. We're kind of doing like TV, so we're going to try to rush it a little bit. But honestly, like if you start your grill, go back in the kitchen, finish prepping. By the time you're done prepping, you usually are at a good place to throw it on the grill. That's my experience.
Got some embers. So do I put, because before I ask you this, my thought would be that I would put down some foil and then put the cheese on foil, or am I just putting it right on this grill?
So you could, but here's what you do instead. Sorry, I'm getting smoke. So let me show this to you. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'm a big fan of making sure that you coat your grill grates with oil so that your food doesn't stick.
Okay.
And so that's what we're going to do today. Now, you could put foil down, but I think the beauty of cooking on the fire is having that contact with the grates and having contact with the flame. Okay. So and this is for anything I grill, not just cheese, but especially cheese, because it's more likely to stick. But anytime I grill, I always bring out a high temperature cooking oil, and I actually told Michelle, your sexy producer, I love Michelle, to get you can use that, or you can use the cooking sprays. I think I told her to get the avocado oil cooking spray for you. But there's a couple different ways to do it. I just want to show the crowd, the audience, what you can use, what you have, right? So one thing you can do is you can take your oil and put it in like a little bowl. Like that's perfect. Chosen Foods, that's perfect. And that's my favorite. So you can take a bowl and put like a high heat cooking oil. I use avocado oil because I'm very much like no seed oils in my diet, or I try to at least. And then you can take a paper towel.
Wait, so what am I doing with this? I put this in here?
No, hold on just a second. You're going to use that. I'm just showing the audience another way. Okay. You can also dip like paper towels into the oil and then coat the grill grates that way. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that way, if you don't have the spray, then you can use it. Now, the other thing to note with the spray, you guys, is that make sure you read the ingredients when you buy these sprays, because I can't tell you how many bottles I ended up throwing out once I discovered this, is that most of these sprays actually include the propellant in the spray, which means you're actually ingesting propellant. So you want to read the ingredients. I know it's gross. Everything
is avocado oil,
and that's what you want. Like, I would encourage everybody in your that's listening right now, go in your kitchen and you go read that bottle of Pam, and it says propellants, and you're spraying that into your food and eating it, and that stuff causes cancer. So throw it out. So the other thing is, you can also buy an atomizer like this and put your own oil in it, and then at least it's only got oil in it, and that's what I've been using. So anyway, those are your options. You've got lots of options.
So somebody just said, what is propellant? That's something that makes the fire start, like a gas.
That's what makes the oil come out of the spray. But it is flammable, and it's also it's really not what you want to be ingesting.
Okay. Somebody said, are you allowed to use like Pam?
Look at the ingredients on Pam. I'm like, depending on which version you got, I'm like 99% sure that Pam has propellants in it, and you don't want to ingest that.
It says canola oil, coconut oil, palm oil, soy lecithin, my dimethyl silicone, anti-foaming agent. Adds trivial amounts of fat. Oh, also contains propellant to dispense spray.
So you're ingesting that. I know. I've red pilled myself so hard, you guys, on so many things. I started writing this clean eating guide. I can't even finish it because I've discovered so much that I don't even know how to finish it. So that's one little tip for you guys, to have one less nasty ingredient in your pantry. That's just avocado oil. That's on the ingredients. Avocado oil. You're safe. Pam, that stuff's gross. I would recommend throwing it out.
I was gonna say, this is what I use when I make like turkey for.
I know, that's what everybody uses. I discovered this because I was doing the steak circuit and like Steak Cook-Off Association. Like, I'm a steak judge, but I also dabble. Like, my dad and I do a few competitions a year, and everybody on the steak circuit uses what's called grill grates, and then you spray it. I'll actually show you. They use these. They're called grill grates. If you want those sexy char marks, this is what you get them with. But you spray it with the oil so they don't stick, and it's like a thing. And then I realized, like, holy crap, this stuff has like all these chemicals you're ingesting.
So Erin, she's saying use something like this instead. That is just 100%. Literally, if you look at the ingredients, it just says avocado oil.
Or
With this one,
you make your own, like I did. There you go. So we all just learned a fun tip.
All right. So now, am I gonna go spray this on my grill?
Okay, so walk back out, bring your stuff, or have someone else do it for you. And we want to. Let me walk you through this. Uh-oh, we froze.
Whew. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna spray
a little bit. Okay, there we go. I can see you. Okay, so you got your grates on. Did you kind of spread your coals out? Are they flat enough where you feel like you'll get even grilling?
Yeah.
I can just put a little bit of that on your grates because this is going to allow so your cheese does not stick.
Nope.
And if that doesn't work, you can always just pour some oil in a bowl and put it on with a.
We just sprayed it on Scott's face. We're fine.
Oh my
and I would say instead of like over, like do it kind of from the side so you don't put it right on the coals, if that makes sense. There you go.
Oh.
Perfect. I'm doing it too. I'm doing this with you right now.
Oh, look at us. Yo.
All right, now you've got flames. So here's what I would do until you're ready. Put the lid on your grill. Like that's the thing, you guys, is like when you start getting flames, you don't want to just let it get crazy out of control. You want to put the lid on, and that's gonna shut off some of that oxygen. Oxygen is basically your fuel.
All right, now what do I do?
Okay.
Now I put the cheese on
Yep, we're gonna grill the cheese
and the tomatoes,
and the tomatoes. Yep.
and I just put them on here like this. That's it. All right. Lulu is like, what is happening?
There we go.
Look at us doing things.
You have a spatula somewhere? Because that's gonna help you remove the cheese. I forgot to tell you to get one.
What?
You have a spatula?
Yeah, I'll get one.
Okay. So that's gonna help us get the cheese off.
Now, am I gonna put this back on?
Put that back on.
Now here's the dial.
That's your dough. So that's gonna control your temperature. So I would let the smoke come out, and always make sure. Sometimes these little, depending on what grill you have, they may or may not have a piece of plastic on there. So always use, like, if you have like some gloves or something, just make sure you just don't want to burn the crap out of your finger, because I've done that before. Like I can see yours has like a little piece of plastic.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Trust me, if there's a way to burn yourself, I have done it. So,
I know. Fancy grilled cheese for breakfast.
I know.
Hey, don't go back to bed. We're gonna eat cheese. Jacqueline, this is the big day. I'm surprised that the coals are as hot as they are, because to look at them, they're just white. They don't really look like anything. But
right. And I think that the misconception is that you have to have this big flame to be grilling. But once they're like, when they have ash on them, they're ashed over. That means they're ready.
okay.
Yeah. And you've already started your first grill. We're grilling cheese, but think of all the things you can grill now. And
Yeah,
so
now I'm gonna go get a steak.
yes, get a steak. I will walk you through it. You can call me anytime and I will show you exactly how to cook a steak. It's like the perfect way you want it. And so then what I love about like your standard kettle grill is that it's kind of the basis for learning all the things, right? Like a lot of people will come to me and say, Robyn, I want to learn how to make ribs, and they don't even know like how to grill yet. And I'll be like, okay, well, let's start from point A and I'll get you to point C. You know what I mean? And point A is, can you light a grill? Okay, yes, you can light a grill. Now, and then it turns into basically, if you want to do things like smoking, and you can even add smoke flavor. I mean, the charcoal adds a certain amount of smoke flavor, but like you can add wood chips. Like I have these. Actually, you would love these. I'll have to get them to send to you. It's a female-owned company, and it's called what are they called? Anyway, the bourbon staves that you can use for smoking. Okay, let's go to our cheese. We don't want to burn it.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at it! Hold on. Look at it.
Okay.
Do I flip it?
See if you can flip it. It might be ready. If you're starting to get char marks, you can probably flip it.
Stick it. Did I not put enough on?
Is it sticking? It might stick.
Oh, the one did, not the other one. Okay.
Let me show the camera. You can get better char marks than this, but this is what it's going to look like.
All my sticks are burned up. I probably should have.
That's my fault. I forgot to tell you to soak them. So my bad, you guys. You definitely need to soak your skewers.
Soak your stick. Jacqueline, go get me tongs or something. You're not helping.
You can see when they get really kind of when they touch the part where there's a like the flame, then they'll get these they'll get that caramelization, and that's delicious when you bite into it.
Yeah, this is really hot. Who knew?
Who knew? One of mine stuck too. I didn't get enough.
Mine are so burnt. You're burnt? It was too good.
I'm like, it looks like I'm crying because I have so much smoke going on my eyes. I would say if you're into charcoal grilling, I can recommend a good waterproof mascara for you.
It's okay. I don't even care that they're burnt.
But you're grilling, and that's the point.
Yeah, I'm grilling.
You don't need a dude to do it for you. You got this.
Oh, hold on. My tomatoes look amazing.
Awesome.
I feel bad that my cheese is all burnt, but it's fine. I'll get it right next time.
Well, there's trial and error to this, you know?
So it's a lot hotter than I thought it would be so quickly.
Well, and I think, you know, we were trying to get it ready for demoing and all, but really what happens, kind of like I said, is if you stand there and use that tool for a minute and then walk away 15 minutes later, you will have a grill that's ready to go. Like you could, I check on it a few times, you know, but it really is like, so I like the fact that they make it so easy because it can demystify that grilling, like charcoal grilling, has to be difficult. It's really not, you know, and also, and you can see mine burned a little bit too. But then so then take it a step further.
Okay.
And what I do is, whoops, let me show everybody. I don't think my grill is quite as hot as yours because I didn't light mine as long. But
Yeah,
what I like to do is then drizzle these with, I'm a big fan of balsamic glaze. Now, of course, you can basically make your own, which is just take balsamic vinegar and reduce it down on the stovetop. But what does happen is it will make your house smell like vinegar. But you can buy these at any store. And I like to use this for my salad dressing too, because it's like I said, I try to cut out things like seed oils and stuff like that. So usually most salad dressings do have it. So I use this and like olive oil. It's kind of my go-to. But this is delicious on the cheese. The cheese is naturally salty. And so this adds like a little bit of a sweet balance and counterbalance to it. And that's it. We just grilled cheese.
All right, hold on. Let me get this last one off. Because two of them aren't bad. A couple of them are bad, but
there's a little trial and error with this recipe, but it's just fun and it's fun and easy. Like I always buy 2 packs of it. And one thing you can do too is if you're a grill. So here's the next step, right? So now that you've lighted the grill, you've lit the grill. And now on a charcoal grill, if you want to say like, you know what, I want to make ribs or I want to smoke something or add smoke flavor to something and cook it low and slow. Like the way to think about it is when you're grilling over coals, that's like being on the broiler in your oven or under the broiler, right? So if you take those coals and move them to one side and then put the food over the indirect side, you're basically roasting. So, and that is basically how you use an oven. And that's how you can then learn to do things like low and slow cooks, like like ribs or, you know, a pork shoulder or pork butt or whatever. And that's a gateway to smoking. But also, yay, look at that. I think it looks pretty. I think
it does look pretty. I'm going to get the balsamic glaze. Well, I don't, you gotta have to scrape it. So what's the name of the company where you can buy the nozzle for the propane? So it's in the post above us. There is a link. You can find it on Amazon. Here's our balsamic. So I'm going to put it over the cheese. Oh, and the tomato.
JJ George is the company.
JJ George.
Look. Nice family-owned company.
No, I don't want to eat that. I want to eat this. You want to try some? This one looks good, lady. Oh.
It will be a little hot, so don't burn the heck out of your tongue. That's my mom coming out, right? So.
Oh my gosh, the tomatoes look great.
And that's like, so now that you learned how to do that, yay, yum. Okay, I forgot to put a fork out here. I'm just gonna have
What kind of cheese are they using? This cheese is called Queso de Freire.
Freire. Yep, it's basically Latin frying cheese. What do you think, Dena?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I can't believe I made it. Jacka.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm really proud of me.
This grilled. When you get a chance, put the lid on your grill because it might get really hot if you don't. So, or have someone in your family put it on for you.
It's good, right?
Now you have like a fun hostess trick recipe for your repertoire, right? Like
yeah, and there was like a whole thing you could have done with like garlic and the basil. There was like an immersion thing.
Yeah. So the full recipe, I take basil and garlic and mix it with olive oil and drizzle that on the salad with the balsamic glaze. This is kind of a simplified version, but it's grilled cheese on a stick, right? Like you can't go wrong with that.
You can't. It's so good. And it's so surprising because when Michelle had said we were making grilled cheese, I was like, oh, well, I'll get gluten-free bread. She's like, there is no bread. And I was like, how are you going to make grilled cheese without bread on a barbecue? But the cheese is awesome to know about.
We're kind of just, yep, we're trying new things. And what's kind of cool is this is actually, you know, for everyone that's doing low carb, because you're basically just eating cheese. Now, obviously, the glaze, because it's got a little sugar in it, is not, there you go, is not keto, but just don't do that part. So,
and
I
so
wrote a whole book like keto swap outs.
Robyn, why did you say to put the lid on it again?
Well, because you're basically just giving your more charcoal. I mean, you're giving your grill more fuel. Air is your fuel. So if you leave the lid open, that's when you know you go to Uncle Bob's house and he has you over for burgers and he burns the crap out of all the burgers because he never ever puts the lid on his grill. He just cooks like in a big flame ball environment. That's because he never puts the lid on. I have an Uncle Jack that does that. We always make a joke like, oh, wonder how burnt dinner is going to be tonight because he never shuts the lid to his grill. Like, and that's a common mistake that a lot of people make. So it's in order to like have that convection style cooking environment, you need to put the lid on, and that also like caps the amount of oxygen you're adding to the charcoal or to the grill.
Now, I want it to go out. Like I'm done now. So like if I want it to turn off.
Shut all the vents. So once you're done grilling, you're going to shut your vents, and you can shut the one at the bottom. And what that's also going to do is save your charcoal for the next cook, so that you're not like just burning it all down. That way you're like, I'm done with my cook. Like you can see here. So
I don't think it doesn't look like I have any vents on the bottom.
You might not. Not all of them do. I thought you had a kettle, but that's a master built. So I will say, if anyone's looking to buy a new grill and they want recommendations, I'm about to come out with a video that's kind of like, what's the best grill for you, and post that article. But anyone can feel free to shoot me an email, Robyn with a Y at grillgirl.com. Because I have tested and used just about every grill imaginable. So, but I will still say, like, I'm just still a charcoal girl myself, because I love the flavor, but I also love the simplicity, because there's not a lot of stuff to break on it. Like, I have had this specific grill for years. I pulled it out because there's a table on it, and I thought that would be perfect for the demo. But this grill specifically has a built-in starter with it. Like the one we just used,
right?
That's basically built into this one. It's called, it's the Weber Performer. It's a highly under-marketed grill that Weber makes.
Okay.
I actually met with them a couple weeks ago, and I was like, why do you guys never promote this grill? It's still your best grill. So basically the stuff that we did with this is basically built into the grill. That's what, you can't see it here, but there's a knob right. Let's see. There's a knob right here. And that's what, it's got a built-in starter, which is really cool. And so I think it's, if you're like, I love charcoal, this is probably like my number one like favorite grill, just because of the ease of use of starting it.
And then so I have a propane grill down the shore, and that one just turned it on, and I guess there's a starter there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, so your average gas grill is, you just you've got gas attached to it, a big propane tank at the bottom. You are going to turn the gas on at the bottom. And there are ways to check to make sure, you can go on the internet, and there's plenty of you can basically take like soapy water and spray it over the nozzle just to make sure there's no leaks, just from a safety standpoint. Like, especially if, let's say your grill's been at the shore all winter and it hasn't been touched, and you go out for summer, just if you want to kind of just check and make sure everything's okay, you can do that. Then basically what you do is you turn the nozzle on, and then every gas grill is going to have like a button that you push while you put the knob into the lighting position. And usually it looks like a flame, or like kind of like a star or something like that.
Okay. And then is it the same? Because I feel like when I would watch my dad or Jim grill, they would keep the lid open and the flame high. And that's what you're supposed to do with the propane?
No, you still need to shut the lid. And here's the thing too, ladies, is that and no offense to the guys on your show, but just because your guys did it, that in your life, doesn't mean they always did it the right way too. You know what I mean?
That's my question. Yeah.
My Uncle Jack's story. He grills, but he burns everything.
Yeah. Now, I know your website is grillgirl.com. You have recipes on there. You also have some products on there that you love. I have corn in my fridge. I put that on here. I just put it in some foil and put it on the grill for a bit.
I honestly I usually sometimes what I do is I parboil it and then throw it on the grill, but I don't put it in foil. I like to have that char.
Oh, okay.
Or Mexican style street corn.
Yeah.
If you want to do the Mexican style street corn, you basically just take mayo, dip it in mayo, and then basically dip it in the cotija cheese, which is basically like Mexican Parmesan. It's kind of like the same thing, and then sprinkle it with cilantro. What I do is I'll set up a corn bar, right? All the fixings you might want. So then you could put the mayo with a little paintbrush, and people can paint it on, and then then they can dip it in the cheese, and then they could add you could put that tagine, that you can pour. I even did, because I'm obsessed with Indian food right now. It's called chat masala, and it's like an Indian street food spice that you can buy. I can send you a link to it, and I even did that on corn, and it was delicious. So have fun with the corn. I know Jersey's no, is it Jersey corn?
Yeah.
My husband's from New Jersey. I am married to a New Jersey guy. Can you believe
it? All right. What part of Jersey is he from?
He's from Chatham, and then they have a house at the shore in Bayhead.
Okay, yeah. All right, awesome.
Weeks living my best Jersey life.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. If you guys get a chance, go check out grillgirl.com. Hopefully this little tutorial on grills has helped you. I know that it's at least given me some hope. This cheese is so good.
Yay, I'm glad you like it. And I'm really proud of you. Hey, it wasn't that hard, right? Like I said,
It's not hard. I think it's just super intimidating. Like I feel like there's a lot of things that, when you're going through a divorce or separation, or maybe you've lost somebody, that there's a lot of moments where, there are these silly things that you're like, oh, well, this is what my partner used to do all the time. And now I got to figure it out. And so it is. But it was super interesting, and I felt pretty safe using a fire torch, so that was a good step in the right direction.
You got it. One last thing before I go, I will tell you, if you're not cooking or using a meat thermometer, if you're not using mine, I came out with a limited edition one. It was like a thing I did with FabFitFun earlier this summer.
Right.
This is like $30, but the goal is you never want to guess when you're cooking your meat, especially on the grill, but anywhere. Like, this is what I say will eliminate that rubber chicken syndrome, when everybody overcooks their chicken,
right,
because they're not sure if it's done, so they just leave it on too long, and then you're like, it's like that scene from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where they're all like dipping the turkey. Anyway, the point is, don't serve chicken like that. This way, you have a meat thermometer, be like, oh, I've hit 165, I'm good, pull it off. Or if you want,
stick that in the chicken, it doesn't stay in there, right?
Nope, you would temp it and you're like, I'm at 165. Actually, you can hit 160 because there's carryover temp. I actually have an infographic too on like cooking temps for steak. So it's like, let's say you want a medium rare steak, but your mom wants a well done, God bless her, steak. And let's hope that's not the case. But this way you can do what you want and what she wants and know when it's ready and pull it off.
Yeah. Michelle,
even if you're not grilling, but just in your kitchen, you still don't want to overcook stuff or undercook stuff. Like, it's just going to make you a better cook.
I know. Well, that's the thing, is after all this work, you want to make sure it tastes good. Michelle, can you put the name of the cheese in the chat if you get a chance? Somebody had asked about it, the queso de Ferrer, whatever that was. But I think we all learned a lot today about trying out a charcoal grill. Some really good tips on grilling. Also, you shouldn't use a chihuahua as bait for your alligator. These are just some tips that we covered today. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Robyn. It was so wonderful.
Hey, I'm proud of you. You go, girl. You got this. Thanks for having me on, and nice to meet all of you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robyn. We'll see you soon.